5,000 years ago, along the banks of Indus River and its tributaries, a civilization flourished, known today as the Harappan or Indus Valley Civilization. It remains one of the world's earliest urban centers, contemporary with Mesopotamia and Egypt, yet unique in its sophistication. It covered the vast areas of present day Pakistan, northwestern India, and northeast Afghanistan. But what was this civilization? How did its people live? What did they believe? And why did it decline? Most importantly, what is its legacy? And how has the rediscovery of Harappa shaped modern India's identity? Indus Valley Civilization was referred to as Indus Saraswati Civilization, which was named after the Saraswati River, which is now identified as Ghaggar in Punjab and Chakra in Baluchistan region, which is believed to have flowed alongside the Indus River. It was Sir Alexander Cunningham, who was the first Director General of ASI, who conducted the early excavations at Harappa in 1853, in 1856, and in 1872. Later, Sir John Marshall's excavation confirmed Harappa as a part of the Indus Valley Civilization. And then, the term Indus Valley Civilization was coined by Sir John Marshall. In 1920, Dayaram Sahani started excavation at Harappa, and in 1921, it was R.D. Banerjee who started excavations at Mohenjo-daro. Perhaps the most striking feature of the Harappan world was its meticulous town planning. Unlike the chaos of organic settlements, Harappan cities were carefully laid out on a grid pattern. Streets intersected at right angles, suggesting a civic authority with foresight and discipline. The cities were divided into two sections: the citadel, which was raised on a platform, possibly for administrative or ritual functions, and the lower town, where the common people lived. Buildings were built of baked bricks, and stone buildings were completely absent. What truly astonishes us is their drainage system. There were covered drains, inspection holes, and soak pits, which reveal an advanced concern for sanitation, something even the later civilizations struggled with. Each household was connected to a central drainage network, suggesting both civic and understanding of public health. Scholars often call this world's first example of urban governance without monarchy, since there is little evidence of palaces and kingship. Instead, order seems to have been collective, a legacy of discipline and cooperation. The Harappan economy was diverse, resilient, and far-reaching. Agriculture thrived with wheat, barley, cotton, and even rice. The evidence of sophisticated irrigation was found at Dholavira and Chortugai. But Harappa was not just agrarian, it was also a trading giant. Standardized weights and measures were found across thousands of kilometers, which ensured fair exchange. Seals bearing animal motifs and script hint at ownership, contracts, and identity. Artisans produced beads, pottery, toys, and ornaments. The dockyard at Lothal, which was now one of the world's oldest, reveals maritime trade links stretching to Mesopotamia, Oman, and Bahrain. Mesopotamian records speak of a distant land called Meluha, which was believed to be Harappa itself. Religion in Harappa remains mysterious, for the script is undeciphered. Yet the material culture whispers the clues. The famous Pashupati seal shows a horned figure seated cross-legged, surrounded by animals like elephants, tiger, rhinoceros, buffalo, and deers. Some scholars link it to an early form of Shiva. Terracotta figurines of Mother Goddess suggest fertility cults. while fire altars at Kalibangan hint at ritual practices. Sacred animals, like the bull and the unicorn motifs, dominate the stalactite seals, reflecting symbolic significance. The disposal of dead was an essential religious practice in the Harappan civilization. The burial orientation was usually north-south, and graves contained ornamental items like shell, bangles, necklaces, pearl shells, etc. What is striking is the absence of grand temples or monumental idols. Religion seemed intimate, woven into everyday life rather than imposed by priestly elites. The Harappans combined utility with beauty. The bronze dancing girl of Mohenjo-daro, which was cast in bronze, reveals confidence and rhythm, while the priest king suggests authority and dignity. Pottery was bright or dark red and decorated with geometric designs. Bead making reached astonishing refinement, with carnelian, faints, and semi-precious stones cut with microscopic precision. Even children were not forgotten. Clay carts, whistles, shaped like birds, and miniature animal figurines suggest joy and play. This culture was not just functional, it was artistic, aesthetic, and deeply human. By 1900 BCE, the Harappan cities began to decline. But why? Older theories blamed Aryan invasion, citing Vedic hymns of battle and destruction. Today, most scholars reject this. Instead, ecological changes seem more likely. The Saraswati Ghagar Hakra river system dried up, while floods periodically ravaged settlements. Climate change may have weakened agriculture over time. Urban centers crumbled, trade declined, and people migrated eastwards towards the Ganga plains. The Harappan story did not end suddenly. It transformed, dispersing into rural cultures that carried forward the elements of Harappan life. The rediscovery of Harappan in the 1920s shook the world. Until then, India's history was often dismissed as secondary to Greece, Rome, or Mesopotamia. Harappa proved that India was a cradle of civilization in its own right. For the freedom struggle, this was more than archaeology, it was empowerment. Leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru celebrated Harappa in the discovery of India, calling it the foundation of Indian unity. Harappan ideas of town planning, sanitation, craft specialization, maritime trade, and cultural continuity echo in India's self-image as a civilization state. The emphasis on community life, respect for rivers, and symbolic spirituality resonate with traditions that continue today. Even the debate on Harappan script, whether it represents a Proto-Dravidian, Indo-Aryan, or something else, connects to deeper questions of identity, language, and belonging. In short, Harappa is not forgotten ruin. It is a part of the living fabric of India, reminding us that long before the modern borders, a sophisticated people created one of humanity's greatest experiments in urban life. The Harappan civilization may have faded 4,000 years ago, but its echoes remain in our cities and villages, in our rituals and symbols, in the very idea of India as a civilization that endures.